What's up, people? Yes, it's me. I haven't been seen or heard from in a while. It's because I had to forcefully quit my job last week at Advanced Auto Parts. And if you know my story, it's not just knowing, it's knowing the facts to my story. At no point in my career for that company did I ever try to sabotage anybody's work or employment maliciously or purposely. So it's just funny that, like, and everybody will say this no matter what job I go to, that I'm probably, without a doubt, one of the easiest people to get along with ever, is because I don't judge. It's like, and even if I hear rumors about somebody, I have to judge for myself, because I'm no better than the next person to make that judgment on somebody without actually witnessing or like I said, witnessing it, or just listening to hearsay. Because half the time the people that are either starting rumors and stuff like that, they're either jealous of that person, or it's just they don't care for their personality. I've been on the receiving end of that. There's a lot of people that don't like my personality that gets me into situations like what happened at this job, because I'm very outgoing. It was like, what's the better way to say it? I'm not very shy sometimes, so like I'm always a people person. I like to interact with other people. I said, it doesn't matter what kind of personality they have, because I feel, even though I did have a problem with this person, I always find that there's some good in somebody, at least something. Because like I said, I never had a problem with this guy ever. Matter of fact, I helped him organize the containment room for our shift when he was working the containment room. So the fact that he went off on me for some nonsense, and when I mean nonsense, everybody always laughed because they thought I was joking about the situation that basically started it all, because they're like, what? Yeah. And this was the situation that started it all. Was me and Sergio, we were working OPs, busting our you-know-whats like every day. And then I get a message to come to the bullpen. So I get in there, and obviously the clerk, I don't really got to say her name, everybody knows who she is. So the clerk was in there, and so was DeAndre. I'll say his name all day long. DeAndre Cox. That's how it sounded like over the intercom on Sunday. DeAndre Cox. But anyway, so I get in there, and Jason Jarvis had made a rule that if anybody was caught in the bullpen for no reason whatsoever, that is a pending termination call, because it seems like everybody just want to go in the bullpen, sit there and talk for the last couple waves instead of doing their job. So I get in there. It is past 7:30 p.m., not a.m. Me and Sergio just finished up the OP work for the day. And I get called to the office and then she told me that I had to go to 87. I have no problem going to 87. But Mr. DeAndre Cox is working in 87, but he still finds time to be in the office to sit there and talk when we're like past our completion point for the day. And I just like calmly said, okay. So then I look at him, I was like, so did you pick up a set? And he went off. He was like, oh, I had no right to be so disrespectful. I'm like, I was just dumbfounded because I had no idea what he was talking about. It's a basic question everyone asks each other either near the end of the day or during the day. And it's not meant to be taken personal and or received as offensive, because it is a generic question that everyone asks during the day. But he said I offended him. He got in my face about it in the bullpen. And I said, I'm not trying to be offensive, I'm just trying to get out of here. And then he left the office, and I asked the clerk, did he pick up a set? And she just shrugged her shoulders, like, eh. She goes, just Mike, just pick up the next set. It's not that big. And it really wasn't, because remember, I said I was on the OP. So, instead, and then I picked up the set. It literally was one store. So I'm thinking to myself, because the reason why it gets people that have to go from OP to pallet jacks, or vice versa, is because now they got to go switch machines to perform the other tasks. And if it's at the end of the day, that's just time consuming. Because now you got to go find a machine, then go pick an order, fill out, then go fill out the checklist, the safety checklist, and then go pick your orders. So I said, screw it. I left the office, and I didn't even get to my machine yet. And he, instead of going to go do his job, he decided to just wait for me outside the office and confront me once again. And he said, once again, Mike, don't ever be disrespectful like that. And I'm still looking at him like, what the heck did I say that was so offensive and disrespectful? And he goes, you can't be saying that stuff like that in front of people like that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get out of here, and seems like somebody's getting a little hostile. So I was like, look, I'm just trying to get out of here. So I went, instead of getting a pallet jack, I just picked that one store on my OP. I got done with it within less than 10 minutes. And instead, once again, of picking up an order, he decided to go chit-chat by the pallet corral with, sorry to name drop, but Greg Harris and Ted Sharp. I guess he told him about something I said offensive, and I went to go drop my order. And you're never going to believe this, but he still didn't pick up an order yet. So instead of picking up an order, he decides to get in my face in front of both of them. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I literally left the situation twice already. At what point in time do you just say, fuck it, This guy just keeps getting in your face about it. And I was like, look, it's like, I'm not trying to be offensive or disrespectful. And that's when I lost it. I said, I'm just making sure you're doing your job. And then he got mad because of the way I raised my voice at him. So then he goes, Mike, get your cracker ass out of my face. Don't do that. I'm going to do like him. Don't do that. You don't do that. Like, for real. Don't do that. He sounded like a freaking retarded Steve Urkel. Don't do that. But anyway, so he got mad. What do I call it? Greg and Ted couldn't help but laugh because the way he reacted, it looked so childish. He did one of those, how do I want to say, the mean mug shuffle shake thing, like, ooh, ooh, then the hand clap, ooh, ooh, you don't want to test me like that, Mike, no, kind of shit like that, yeah. I couldn't help but laugh, and I just told him, like, look, this has nothing at all to do with race. It's just making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so this is what happened. He went to the office to talk to Vanessa and bullshit again, and then called Francis in the office to tell her that I was being offensive and disrespectful. And they went and asked him, what did Mike do or say that was offensive and disrespectful? You know what his response was? I don't want to talk about it. It was that offensive. If it was that offensive and disrespectful, why aren't you going to talk about it? Instead of what the whole thing was about him dropping orders, instead of picking up that set yet, he decided he was so offended that I'm just going to clock out and go home. At what point in time at a job are you allowed to just clock out and go home without telling even if he did tell the supervisor, just clock out and go home because he felt uncomfortable there. And yet he couldn't give a significant reason for why he felt uncomfortable. So I get called to the office about it, and I went off because I was like, who the f*** is he to say he got disrespected? I mean, I asked him a basic question, and he got racist with me. At no point, I say, is it acceptable to go in that direction? I never go in that direction, no matter how heated a conversation goes. Ever. It's disgusting to me. I've said this on numerous occasions to the boss. I was like, he disgusted me to the fullest point about the whole situation, that I said I wanted to switch shifts many a times. I wanted to either go back to third shift or go back to first shift. But since that whole situation, it escalated into next day where he himself instigated a situation. I was just cracking a joke, and he, again, took offensive because it was something similar to what he said the day before. And then all of a sudden, like I said, there's two things. Either I was getting threatened or sexually harassed. Because when somebody tells you, oh, well, he can meet me here, or come meet me at my house, it's not hard to find, or, you know, I could give him directions and stuff like that. It's like either, like I say, he challenging me to a fight, or he want to go out on a date. And I don't know. I mean, you interpret it your way. And the fact that he went off on me in the lunchroom and no one knew exactly what was going on unless they knew the situation from the day before. So then when I just had enough and then got in his face about it, because, I mean, at how many times, I'm sorry, I'm the easiest person to get along with at any job I've ever worked at. If anybody ever had anything bad to say about me, it's because they were either jealous of my position and or jealous of my personality, about how I get along with so many people in an instant. It's just the way, it's the way I present myself. I was like, at no point when I started working weekends, Jason, Joel, and Bet just shook their heads. They're like, what did we get ourselves into? I was like, they appreciated what I did because it broke the monotony from the staleness at the job. I was like, I'm not here to make everybody's day long and boring. I'm here to help everyone out, no matter who they are. I mean, after that whole situation, yes, I limited myself to who I was helping. And when I mean limit myself, that was basically to him. But anybody after that situation, I still helped regardless. And if you can ask anybody at that job, if I had never stopped to help them, they're lying. Because I always stopped to help out anybody, no matter who they were. I know I'm like literally rehashing everything, but like I said, he instigated something the next day, and he didn't like what I said to him as a response. So I don't get where the priorities go to where you're allowed to instigate something, and then if I say something back, you're going to tell on me like I'm the one who did something wrong. And so I got a final warning. And this is the icing on the cake. They said this. He wasn't right for what he did, and I wasn't right for what I did. I was like, he was provoking me the whole time. He thought, this is what he thought. He was going to provoke me, show out in front of Ted and Greg, and get away with it, and be like, oh, see, I told you Mike's a punk kind of stuff. That's fine and dandy. I can care less whether people think I'm a punk or not. It was like, it's about facts and truths. That's what kills me. I can care less what people think about me. Obviously, if you've seen the way I present myself when I did the morning stretches, I could care less. I make fun of myself all the time. It doesn't matter. So, with that being said, you can't try to spin a story in your favor after you literally started it all. And they literally put on my final warning, if Mike never asked that question, none of this would have ever happened. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me you're basically eliminating conversation, basic conversation, because it might lead to something bigger? Asking somebody if they had picked up a set is just as equal. Disciplinary action is getting racist with somebody. That's what baffles me. And yes, truth be told, I was in the office every day after that situation, pleading my case about how ridiculous that write-up was. And then afterwards, he felt necessarily like he was allowed to talk crap to me even after the situation while we were picking. And of course, me being the bigger man I am, ignored him for weeks on end. And at one point, I just got fed up with it, because I even said, I was like, the day I get in trouble for the way I speak is the day this company goes out of business. Because I was like, there's no point where anybody should go to work and feel uncomfortable because somebody trying to strong arm them. I'm not a big man, but I don't get strong armed. I was like, I do nothing to anybody. I was like, everybody has their breaking points. They got to realize that. I was like, it's only there's plenty of people at that warehouse right now that keep their mouth shut. But once they open their mouth, all heck is going to break loose. Because, one, you're not doing nothing to handle the situation properly. Because you got somebody who's claiming they a thug and basically telling people, aka management, if they call me, you call me by my first name over the, do not call me by my first name over the loudspeaker ever again, because he has an image to protect. What kind of nonsense is that? What are you promoting at your job? That, oh, if he don't get his way, he gonna do something to you. Oh yeah, that's a very good teamwork environment that everybody want to go into. Like, oh, they want to show up to work because supposedly this thug gonna do something to them. Yeah. And yeah, I say thug because he ain't, because I know he ain't. But anyway, I was like, that's literally the situation that got to where I was at on Sunday. Because, and everybody thought I was joking. Like, you rarely heard me cuss at that job. And when I did, majority of the time, I apologized. And everybody kept saying, oh, they don't care, they don't care, they don't care. Well, guess what, people? People do care. You know why? Because I let one F word slip, regardless if it was towards him or not. Whether, and he was definitely in the wrong. But guess what? He still got his job. And why is that? We don't know, because the way it was written in the form before I quit was had nothing to do with him. He literally just said Mike used the F word and refused to lead stretches. I was like, look, I don't got time to deal with this. I quit. It's plain and simple. And yes, every little aftermath story that you've seen written and everything is true. The only one that wasn't, that people were telling me about, was that I got tackled or something, or that they were chasing me around the warehouse for 30 minutes. They weren't chasing me around the warehouse for 30 minutes. Most of the heated conversation was by me emptying my locker. Ask Stephen Price, he was there to witness that. Because he was just in shock about what was going on, and he didn't know what was going on. But at no point was I ever, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel I was justified in the way I left. I heard that, ain't no names gonna be dropped, that, my former boss was none too happy by the way I left the job. It's understandable. It makes him look bad. It looks like he has no control. But then again, is there any control? It's honesty. Honestly, is there any control? Think about it. You let people harass other people all day long. You let people freely cuss in a group setting, and people still there. Not knocking the people that do it. But do you think I should have been reprimanded for letting one word slip? And they'd be like, whoa, it was in a group setting in front of everybody and witnesses. Is not lunchtime or break time a group setting in itself? I would think so. And if you hear less than 3 fucks in one sentence, I'd be fucking shocked. Yes, I had to go there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, I swear I'm probably like the most cleanest spoken person there. Outside of work, yeah, an Irishman to the fullest with my language. So, with that being said, they basically backed me in the corner and forced me to quit. And the way I went out, I wouldn't have went out any other way. Because when you're purposely trying to get rid of me, and or purposely trying to make me quit, and everybody's like, well, I shouldn't have went out that way, I should have went calmly. And I'm going to tell you another story. I told you I tried to get switched to a different shift. Put bids in like crazy. Deny, deny, deny. Because I said I didn't like the situation. So I figured I'd take myself away from the situation. I was like, because honestly, it wouldn't be fair to him if he had to get forced off the shift. So I figured I'd be the bigger man, take the pay cut, and leave. And go to a different shift. I mean, it's a win-win situation. We don't have to be around each other. And, you know, and we still both get to do our job. But obviously, because of that situation, they denied me. So I was like, since I can't get switched to a different shift, how about a transfer to a different DC and just be done with it altogether? I get an email saying, we are not going to accommodate you, and if you choose to quit, we will not give you, this is their words, it's like, we will not endorse you in any way, shape, or form. And I just looked at Jason and said, excuse my language, that's fucked up. I was like, so you're basically saying I'm stuck and have to deal with possible continuing harassment because, like I said, people have their boiling points. Everybody has their boiling points. They can deny till they die, say, oh, I'm not that type of person. Bullshit. Everybody has it. The nicest girl in the world, Vanessa Purcell, she has a boiling point. Have you ever seen it? Rarely. And when you do, you'll know it. It's that simple. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody has their boiling points. So at what point is it okay for me to come to work and deal with that every day? It's not. So why? It seems like a quick fix, but they choose not. They just kept denying and denying. And the best thing they could do is just keep us separated during the warehouse. So then that falls on everybody else because obviously he doesn't like to work. And then when he does work, he only works for the first couple waves, and the last 2 waves he's nowhere to be found. Either he's in the bullpen or taking a shit. And yes, that's what my songs were about. Yeah. Because that's his way to getting out of the bigger orders at the end of the day so he can go home on time. And then get assignment numbers from the clerk in the office. So it makes it look like he's doing something still. Not the way. Lynette Espinosa is a perfect example. Up north in Pennsylvania. She was a clerk at a job I worked at. And she did the job of 4 people. And it showed when I can't really say it word for word, but she gave me the gist of the story. Company left. They were trying to do pay cuts. They were going to give her a pay cut. She left. And then within a month, they hired her back. You know why? Because she's that valuable. And at no point, I know how valuable she was. And when we worked together, I never asked for anything easy. Ever. And matter of fact, she gave me all the hard stuff because she just tired of hearing people complain all the time. Because their setup was different, that you were literally given assigned orders and stuff like that. And all the ones that people didn't want to do, she gave to me because she knows I would do it and get it done. I never asked for anything easy. I always asked for equality, though. And I've been saying that since day one with Jason. And it seems like it never went through. And maybe with what's going down with me and what happened, maybe we can clarify a little more things. So it makes everybody that I used to work with make their job a little more manageable and easier, and they could breathe a little easier and not having to be secluded because they're not a part of a list or a crew. When I mean that list and crew, I mean the catering crew, the bullpen catering crew, the ones that just go in the office and talk all fucking day. Yeah, it's happening. And I'm hoping people from the job either post this and hopefully it gets to management, because it's something that needs to be done. You got people that are busting their you know what all day, and all they got to show for it is a thumbs up. But yet the people that aren't doing what they're supposed to and just slacking off and still making that paycheck, wasting company time. What's worse? Me accidentally using the F word during the stretches